Well, it's Bruce again, and my latest project that I have undertaken is I'm trying to figure out how to do an underquilt. It's really cool. As went to Dutch's site and said do DIY gear, outdoor gear, something like that. But I got the new Argon 67 material, and it's funny because here it is, and when it's sitting over somewhere, it basically looks like a black garbage can, garbage bag. So I mean, it's just super thin stuff. And not that I'm not trying hard, but this is my first go at it, and made plenty of mistakes. Not that great at sewing, but I'm getting there. So I got 4 yards of it, and gonna be making it. So I folded it in half, sewed around the outside, except for the top, and that's where I'll be putting the down in. And I'm making 8 baffles. This is going to be kind of like a summer bag, not a winter bag. Or underquilt, and so it's just a summer deal. But it's funny because it's definitely really strong material, but it's just thin as can be. I mean, it's just super thin. So it's 0.67 ounces. But I thought I'd give it a shot, and hopefully it'll look good when I get done. I'll put the shock cord in the different spots that everybody's doing, but this is it, and it basically came in like a sandwich bag. It's so light, but right now I'm just sewing in the baffles, so I'll just keep shooting as I go. And I tried to draw lines on it. Tried to draw lines on it that I could follow, but it doesn't like to have anything drawn on it. So, kind of more or less freestyling it. That didn't go so bad. So I do have some down coats and some old down sleeping bags and all that. So I'm going to be doing that instead of buying it. I'm trying to make it kind of as least expensive as I can. So if I can get out of this deal with an underquilt for maybe 50 bucks is kind of what I'm looking at. Try and make it look as good as possible, but we'll see. Okay, so here, so I lay it out on the ground, and so what I did was I sewed around the perimeter, folded it in half, sewed it around the perimeter, except for this end, which will be the stuffing end. Then I measured where the middle was, and I sewed a seam right down the middle, and then what I'm doing is I'm going off of that middle. I'm going over 7 inches. Every 7 inches I end up with another. I'll end up with 4 baffles on each side of the middle. So since I can't draw on it, I just put a pin and then I just hold it straight when I start sewing. So it helps to have this big ruler So I just kind of pin the two sides together and move it down a little ways, and then pin it again. But it's pretty strong stuff. I did like had a miss sew or something like that, and I kind of grabbed it too fast, and it pulled, kind of tore it. Luckily at the end. Would I do this again with this lightweight fabric, or maybe do a 1.1 percent, 1.1 ounce? I don't know. I'll see when I get done. I'm sure it's a big savings, and it's really neat, soft material. But I'm not a big time sewer guy. Kind of like doing it. It's kind of fun, but it's kind of sloppy too. So we'll keep going. So I'm at the backyard. So I've been searching Craigslist for down sleeping bags, basically, and picked up actually a really nice pair. I almost hate to cut them up. Eddie Bauer. They're very old, but they're down, matching pair. I got two down bags for $30. So all I'm doing is making a kind of a cut at the top. Unless I'm doing this outside, the down starts coming out right away. So I just put my hand, kind of block all the down coming out, push my hand down in until I get a good handful, find my tube that I want to go in. Even though I lose a little bit up top, I can always push it back in. Then just find the tube I want to go in and shove her down and collect up the down that I missed. I picked up a couple down coats from the thrift store. Already did one. It's actually a pretty cool down. It's not, I don't know if it's 800, 900, or 750 or whatever. There you go. That's basically one little tube. There's a little bit of feathers flying everywhere, but I'm doing it out in my yard. And usually got one good windstorm and feathers are all gone. So start to fill up the tubes and shake it out a little bit every once in a while. It's definitely my learning curve one. So, but I've never claimed to be a great sewer, but I like doing do-it-yourself stuff, and I think I'm getting better as time goes on. So I'll do another tube here. So just cut the top of the tube on the sleeping bag, and you stick your hand, just kind of make a cup around it as your hand goes in. So you feel like you got a good fistful. That's actually a lot of compressed down. So the next tube over, shove it in. Same tube. Definitely a easy project if you do it during the summer and you can be outside. I can see if you're trying to do this in the winter and trying to keep all these feathers under control. So that is the stuffing that's going on. Alright, so this is the unveiling of the underquilt that I was working on with the Argon, and we did have a chance to take it out. So here it is in all its glory. Did have a chance to take it out on our last hike up to where'd we go? Mason Lake, and Jaylene tried it out, but it's very fluffy, light. It took one down coat and a old Eddie Bauer down sleeping bag to fill up all the baffles. And when you first bring it out of a bag, even though it's a kind of just a regular bag, it takes a little while. It fluffs up. I was trying to shoot for like a summer bag, but it really turned out to be quite warm. So I would easily take this to 30 degrees, no problem. So maybe even a little bit lower than that. But so on the long sides, and I'll put it up, I put this grow grain, and it is like the 2-inch grow grain, and I sewed that over the whole long edge. And inside of that is this shock cord, and that runs free. And I started adding some little grow grain loops. I think they're like 3/8 of an inch, and I'll add those where I need them. Some people like to have it so you can make it so that it doesn't slide back and forth, or you can tie it up to the ridge line. The first go, we didn't even need that. So that is so that goes on both sides, and I'll put it up so you can see that. And then it's hooked to this flag clip, and that hooks onto the straps that hold the hammock up. And those can be adjusted just by a quick knot. On the ends, to keep the air out, I put some more shock cord. And I actually, just at the end of the quilt, I had about a 2-inch leftover buffer all the way around the outside, and I actually just tripled that over, kind of a felled seam, because it's not going to be a lot of work on that. And I didn't put grow grain on it, but I ran some shock cord through that, and I got a little clip on this side to tighten it up. And see, I think I did one on the other side too. So on both sides you have that. Of course I got some extra, but yeah, it worked like a dream. So let me set it up, and I got just this ultralight hammock right now. It will have to do. The hammocks that I made for Jaylene and myself are a lot longer. This one's, I think, only about 9 feet long, and ours are 13 feet long. So let's see if I can focus my GoPro over to where it hooks on. So we take the little hook and just hook it on somewhere up there. Then we take the other hook, hook it on over here somewhere. Now I'll have to tighten this up a little bit. Let's tighten that up, knot it. And I will tighten this end up. Well, I pulled my thing out. Pulled my thing out, great, but as you can see, I'm just going to do that because I'll do that another time. But that's what it looks like in the end. So, sorry I pulled my little straps out, but I got other things to do. Talk to you all later. Bye now. Alright, so
don't know exactly what I got on that, and when I was trying to adjust to the hammock, I pulled the shock cords through the grow grain, and now I got to thread them back through. So if you want to see what it looks like, go to my Mason Lake hike, and you'll see it actually on the hammock, and I'll provide the link below. I guess all my go-to YouTube buddies. Yeah, I got a call today that my sailboat had sunk, and at work, and rushed down there, fortunately, to find it about halfway down. It's a 30-foot sailboat, and my neighbor had unplugged it, the power, so he could do some work on his boat, and never plugged it back in. Thus, it ran the battery out. I have a bilge pump that runs, because it does leak. The big power boats do leak, or sailboats, because they have where the propeller shaft goes through the hull. It has what's called a stuffing box, and it's designed to leak just a little bit, but it leaks, and then the bilge pump pumps it out, and the batteries only last so long, and I haven't been up there since my trip on 4th of July. And once that battery goes dead, there's nothing there to pump it out. So once the battery died, it just slowly started filling up, and luckily my neighbor, a couple slips down, noticed that it was sitting kind of low in the water. So I went there, and hold on a sec. So yeah, luckily I don't know where I was, but the neighbor saw it, and so by the time I got there, it was filling up with water really slowly, but it had already, there was about 3 feet of water in the galley area, and thus the engine was underwater. So I don't know what to do with that. So decided to do this video, get my quilt thing out of the way, and so, you know,